As you know from the last few days' vlogs, we have spent the weekend at Center Parcs. It was a gifted trip from the lovely people at Center Parcs, and we showed you lots and lots of activities and things that we got up to. If you haven't seen those vlogs yet, you should go back and watch those. This video is where we're going to get into the nitty-gritty and review it and give tips and give you the what to do's and what not to do's of going to Center Parcs as an autism family. Hello folks and welcome to today's vlog. As mentioned in the little intro there, I've clapped again. I don't know, that's twice I've clapped. I'm leaving that one in. The first time I clapped as I said hello folks. I think I'm just trying to ruin it for myself in the edit. As I mentioned in the little intro there, this is a very different video to the sort you've had over the last few days. You've had lots of action-packed all adventure videos for the last few days, and to put it really bluntly, we're very tired. We're a little bit broken, aren't we? Feet hurt, swollen legs. And just
no sleep.
Yeah, my shoulder really hurts. we're just broken.
Well, it's back into a normal week and like work and.
We got back from Center Parcs at like 10 o'clock last night. By the time we dropped the girls back off with their mum, and what time did your alarm go off this morning? 5:30. So around us we have lots of stuff that isn't yet unpacked. The house is not fit to be filmed in. I've this morning gone and taken the hire car back and then had to get the bus home from town, which was hideous. I haven't done that for about 20 years. I've still got to go and pick up Dave. So being completely blunt about it, we don't have the time or the facility to do a normal action-packed vlog. But what we can do is something we promised we were going to do yesterday anyway, and just do a little bit of a tips video / review video of what we found our experience at Center Parcs to be, because we did a lot of showing this weekend, but we didn't do a lot of explaining or telling and stuff like that. So I think we've probably got quite a few things to say about Center Parcs, and obviously this was a branded video. We were in partnership with Center Parcs, but we have been given free rein to say what we like. They want an honest review out of us, and they've even got back to me this morning and said, have you got any feedback, anything you'd like us to change? So they are all for us being completely honest. So obviously take it with a pinch of salt if you want to, but I think those of you who've been around for a while should know that I'd like to think we've built up some integrity, and you should be able to believe what we're about to say for what it is, because it's not all going to be completely glowing and positive, although to be fair I would say most of it probably is, because we did have a really good weekend. So what did we think of Center Parcs? Did you enjoy it? 90% yes.
There was bits that...
Tell us about the bits and we'll... Well,
I'm not very directional and I got very lost.
Yeah.
Very lost. They don't have an app or anything. Like,
let me just check. Let me just double check that they don't. Because I don't want to say that and then find out that they do, because then we look like buffoons. But let's just double check. But I don't think they do. And this is something that we were used to from when we went to Disney. No, there's no app. When we went to Disney, obviously they have an app.
Towers.
Yeah, they have an app that has a map in it. It tells you wait times for stuff. Now, I know Center Parcs is a little bit different. It's not a theme park. There aren't wait times as such, because you book your stuff in advance. You just go for your times, and there is no waiting around.
No.
That's a huge, massive positive.
Oh, yeah,
the fact you just book an appointment, you go and you do your activity. But it is easy to get lost. It's a big site.
Because one tree looks like the other tree.
Yeah. And I think if anyone from Center Parcs is watching, it would be a big help if you were to bring out an app and maybe even integrate some maps and some GPS in there, so that the app could tell you where you are. You could put in where you want to be and just follow a little route. I'm sure you could use the Google Maps API to do that. We kind of got around the problem, or I got around the problem, because I dropped a pin on Google Maps at our lodge. So
but only you saw that.
Yeah, so from wherever I was, whenever I was out, I could just use Google Maps and sort of follow that back. And there are signposts around the village. They don't leave you completely to yourself, but it's sometimes not 100% clear whether the signpost is meant for a pedestrian, a cyclist, or a car. And although you do eventually get where you're supposed to be going, you don't always necessarily go there by the most direct route.
No.
Because I know I walk a little bit faster than you because I've got longer legs, but we both made separate routes back from the village, and my thoughts are it was about 8 to 10 minutes from where our lodge is. Anna's thoughts are it's about half an hour away, so I can only assume we went completely different ways, and I've found a more direct route by using Google Maps. So that would be a big plus. I mean, there are paper maps available,
but in the rain they don't work.
Yeah. So that's something you should probably prepare yourself for. Drop a pin on Google Maps where your lodge is. Maybe set out a little bit earlier than you think you probably need. It does say on the maps that each little square they have on the map that I'll drop over me on the screen now, each little square on there is equivalent to a minute's walk apparently. We were right up in the top left hand corner of that map, and our furthest away activity was down in the bottom right hand corner of the map.
Yes, it was.
I haven't counted up how many squares that's supposed to be, but for us that was a good 30-minute walk with Andy, with little legs over here. So don't necessarily leave it to the last minute to get places, because we were late for a couple of things.
Yeah.
We were late for the archery, and
we were early for the golf because it was right there.
But because you've got your appointment times, you kind of need to make sure you are there on time. So give yourself plenty of time to get places. Drop a pin on Google Maps, take advantage of all that stuff, and Center Parcs, if you're watching, an app would be swell. What else? What other tips have we got? I think a big tip for me is don't be afraid to contact guest services if you feel like you need to. Because we had a few different issues over the course of the weekend, not like major weekend breaking issues. I don't want this to come across as a really scathing review, because I will keep emphasising the fact that 95% of the trip was absolutely superb, but we had a couple of issues, and they were all resolved super quick once we involved Center Parcs. But I think our innate Britishness meant that we were sometimes a little bit reluctant to use the services that are there provided for us. So we had an issue with the sauna. I don't think you were there when this happened. I think this is while you were at the Aquasana place.
No, but I had multiple saunas.
When we got there on the Friday night, we tried to turn the sauna on. It didn't work. So we just thought, don't worry about it, we'll figure it out tomorrow. So while Anna was off doing her stuff on the Saturday afternoon, we tried again, still couldn't get it to work. And after about 20 minutes of me reading the instructions and moaning and going, I don't know why it's not working, has someone fiddled with something, typical dad stuff, I finally just rang up guest services and said, I don't know what's happened, our sauna doesn't work, can you send someone to have a look at it? There was someone there probably within 15 minutes. There was someone there. He opened the door and said, yeah, this emergency button has been pushed. If that happens again, you just need to twist it to release and it'll pop out, and then it works. And it worked absolutely fine then. So once we told them what the issue was, they fixed it immediately. They were super nice. They were super helpful. They were quick. But we let it drag on longer than it needed to because we didn't want to ask for help. And we had the same issue on Saturday night, didn't we? Because Saturday night, when we were trying to get to sleep, there was...
And not mega early sleep, was it? It was gone mid...
I mean, we had our little games night party ourselves, which you'll see over the course of the next week or so, and I've got it edited together. But the lodge next to us was having a big party, a party that involved drinking and that kind of thing. And they'd been playing music all evening, and when we were sort of doing our thing as well, it wasn't an issue, but it got to kind of like midnight, we were ready to go to bed, so we went up to bed. I think you went up first to get settled down because the girls wanted to use the sauna, so they were in the sauna and I was there making sure they weren't in there too long. Again, dad things, timing them in the sauna, making sure they had their cold showers, quite enjoying the loud music coming from next door. And then when I eventually came in at probably about 12:15, you were lying there on the bed fuming because there was loud music directly below our window.
Yes, I like
couldn't
silence.
sleep. I then spent the next 20 minutes or so reading my book, telling Anna to just ignore it, just go to sleep. It's fine, they're having a good time, just let them have fun, just go to sleep, stop making a big deal of it. And then eventually it got to the point where I finished my book and wanted to go to sleep myself. And it was
and
it was still loud.
Doors, weren't they?
Now for me, I could have slept through that. Noise doesn't bother me, but she was going to keep me awake by keep moaning about it. So again, rang up guest services. They immediately sent someone around just to say, can you keep it down a bit, maybe go back inside, because they were outside, they were going between a couple of different lodges, they were making a lot of noise. But again, we suffered through it for an hour or so, but then as soon as we let Center Parcs themselves know, they sent security around, and it was absolutely fine. Within probably 5 minutes of that phone call, everything was absolutely fine. And I know there'll probably be a couple of people saying, Kev, that wasn't really cool, you know, being a snitch. You could have just gone around there yourself and asked them to keep the noise down. I'm not going to do that. These people had been drinking since about 4 o'clock. I didn't know them. It was a big group of lads. I didn't really want to wander around into a group of drunken people at 12:30 at night saying, could you please keep the noise down? I am trying to sleep. But Center Parcs did.
Andy slept through it though.
Yeah,
They were right outside his bedroom window, the way the lodges are, and he was fast off.
And don't think that, Center Parcs sounds horrible. They have big drunken parties at night.
No.
They don't. It's not something you're allowed to do. It does say on all of the paperwork and stuff you're not allowed to do that. Security are there overnight specifically to break stuff like that up, but our lodge was right on the outskirts. So unless you were coming down to our little street that had about 8 lodges on,
you couldn't even go anywhere.
Yeah,
It's
not a throughway. There's no reason to go there unless you were coming to our lodges. So the only way they knew about it is if someone told them about it. I get the feeling everyone past us was all involved in the party because everyone seemed to be out there. So I think it was probably just a case of we had to let them know because they were making too much noise. And if it had been someone else in our lodge who was in their party, then it wouldn't have been an issue for anybody because there was a big gap towards the next houses. But yeah, it was dealt with really quickly, which is really, really cool. What else have we got in terms of tips and review stuff? One thing I do want to say, and probably should have led with this in a sponsored video, 11 minutes in, all of the staff, every single member of staff we ran into all weekend was super friendly, super helpful. They all immediately accepted Andy. They all seemed to understand. And I know people say, yeah, but they were told you were coming, they knew who you are, they knew what to expect.
Some of them didn't.
Yeah. You could say that about archery and Hucks because they were both booked in advance, but we didn't book the supermarket in advance and we didn't book the pancake house in advance, and there would have been no way of Center Parcs knowing we were going to go to those places at all. Certainly no way of them knowing when we went. And I do not believe that they've put a village-wide alert out for, there's a family with a camera, they've got an autistic kid. If you see him, be nice to him. I genuinely don't think that's happened. I think they just employ nice people, train them well so they understand autism. There was never any issue with him eating what he wanted, with him doing what he wanted. With the archery, they were so accommodating for him, and we couldn't really fit a lot of it in the video because I was really enjoying myself and didn't film a lot. Plus the camera was dying at that point, the battery was running low. But they let him just come in and sit and watch for 20 minutes, eat some crisps. They let him have a little go, sit back down, take his kit off, put his kit back on, have another little go.
As in,
yeah, his archery kit, not his clothes. But they were so nice, and clearly the archery lady, who we should have got her name, but clearly she's had some experience or some training with autistic children before, because she knew exactly how to talk to him, she knew how to handle him. It was absolutely superb, and everywhere was like that, from the people leading sessions like the archery all the way down to the people sat on the checkouts in the supermarket. They were all friendly, they all said hello, they all spoke to Andy, they all let him just do Andy things. So it was absolutely fantastic from an accessibility, from an autism awareness, autism friendly point of view. I've had a few people say, I've got an autistic kid, I don't know if they could cope with it.
Yep.
The staff will make it so that it's easy to cope with. But on that same point, I think we touched on this a little bit in yesterday's video, you might want to be selective in where you choose to stay, which lodge, whereabouts in the village you choose to have your lodge, because as we've already mentioned, everywhere is quite far apart. When we were arranging it all, they offered us the bike hire, and I said, I don't know that we need bikes, we don't really ride bikes. And the marketing lady on the phone did say to us, no, trust me, you need the bikes. And I said, okay, fine, we'll take the bikes, knowing full well that me and Andy wouldn't be able to ride them. And I was kind of, you say we need the bikes, we'll be fine. We walk around Comic-Con, we walk around EGX, we're fine. A little 20-minute walk never hurt anybody. You need the bikes if you're as far away as we were, because some of those walks are long.
Yeah.
And you're not allowed your car in there, so it is the choice is you either walk or you cycle. For Andy, he can't cycle because he doesn't know how to ride a bike. Now, they did have some three-wheelers, which again, we didn't do enough research in advance and didn't know about. And I think if we'd have made ourselves aware of that beforehand, then we would have gone and got him one of those.
Yeah, they were for 14 and over.
Yeah, so it wasn't like, just stick him on a kid's one. They were proper accessible things for people to use. And I think that would have been good.
Because he likes bikes.
Yeah.
He rides them at school.
By the time we knew they existed, though, it was kind of at that point where it's not really worth getting one now, because as soon as we've got it, we're going to have to take it back, and he didn't really want to go at that point. But I think if we'd have taken Andy there a year ago, the long walk would have been a deal breaker, especially yesterday, the long walk in the rain.
Oh, bless him. He was
I don't think a year ago he would have even left the lodge yesterday in the morning. I think it's a real testament to the progress he's made in the last year, that he did get out and still enjoy his day, but he was drenched through like we all were.
Bless him.
And he wouldn't have been as wet if we'd have been able to go a bit quicker because we were on bikes.
Yeah.
So listen to the advice you're given when you're booking, and if you're not able to cycle because of whatever reason, whether you don't like it, not fit enough, not physically able to,
get a closer villa.
Yeah, stay closer. There's plenty of places that you can stay a stone's throw from the village, or from whatever activity you want to do, because it might be you're there to do all the outdoor adventure stuff, in which case get somewhere near the outdoor adventure centre. But kind of have an idea of the activities you want to do in advance, and then select where you'd like your lodge to be, because I think ours was great.
Oh, it's lovely.
Yeah, it was great for being away from all the action, apart from this one set of neighbours that one night. And it was big and spacious, and 4 beds with a sauna, all that kind of stuff. It was great, but I did kind of feel like, it'd be nice to have a golf cart or my car, or just be a little bit nearer.
Yeah.
Have we got anything else? I think that's probably most of what we've talked about.
I could eat.
Oh, of course, yeah. I completely forgot about that. Every single place we went had a full gluten-free menu, which we've never experienced anywhere before. That's one up even on Disney. Even at Disneyland earlier in the year, you didn't have that much choice available to you. But I mean, Pancake House is a perfect example, because we said on the Friday night, should we go to the Pancake House for breakfast? And your immediate response was, well, no, obviously not, because I'm lactose intolerant and gluten intolerant. I can't go to a Pancake House. But we looked it up, and it had a gluten-free menu and a lactose-free menu. And we went thinking, well, they do omelettes as well, so you can have an omelette. But in the end, you got to have pretty much the same as us. We all had pancakes with bacon and syrup. Effectively, we had our American stacks. You had a gluten-free pancake, and you enjoyed it, didn't you? Yeah. It was the same with the takeaway we got on the Saturday night. You were able to get a gluten-free burger.
Much, but
but there was options. Yeah. You got a gluten-free burger in the restaurant in Hucks yesterday. They asked for a full list of your intolerances before, and then they were telling you the stuff that you couldn't have, and you had a steak, and they told you which sauces you couldn't have, and it was. If you don't go out to eat a lot and you're selective about where you go, then you might just kind of expect that everywhere you go. But for us, because we do travel around a lot and go and eat out a lot, that's not a common experience to have that much choice, is it? Sometimes
it does cause problems if I eat that stuff.
Exactly.
So I'd rather not.
But they were brilliant. And I think that's the big takeaway from the whole weekend when it comes to accessibility for all and accommodating everybody in the family. I think Center Parcs absolutely nails it. There's something there for everybody, and everybody, no matter any issues you might have, disabilities or intolerances or allergies or anything, even
at the spa they asked if you've got allergies.
Yeah, you can still eat, you can still do stuff. If you didn't have the kids, there's plenty of old people stuff to do. That I wanted to go on the quad bike tour and that kind of stuff. I could have happily spent a week there and not got bored. I would have been absolutely broken because I ache like nobody's business today. I've not done an activity weekend since scout camps when I was a teenager, but it was so much fun. And
bikes. Get your bikes.
Get bikes.
I think if I went again, I'd take my own seat because I've got a seat on my bike that's a bit wider for my frame, so I'd probably take that. But apart from that, I was fine riding around.
Yeah, if you are on the fence about going because you're not sure whether you'll be able to cope with it or your kid will be able to cope with it, or whatever it might be, I think the best thing you can do is just ring them up, explain your circumstances, and I guarantee they will talk you through the best options to be able to do it and make the weekend or the week work for you, because that's exactly what they did for us. And like I say, I'm very confident it wasn't just special treatment because we were there on a PR trip.
No, because things weren't 100% all the time.
Exactly. Even when we went places, we never discussed going in advance. They were still perfect and awesome about it all. So can't complain about any of that stuff at all. But
the swimming.
What about it?
Don't go the rapids if you're not experienced.
Well, we said that in the video, didn't we? It does. There is a big sign on the way into those that says for strong and experienced swimmers only.
Oh, God.
So
I died.
Yeah, we covered that in the video a couple of days ago. If you want to see Anna panicking as Andy got swept away on the rapids.
He just went, and I couldn't because you have to like push yourself along because he's little and flimsy. Not flimsy, but he's Andy.
Yeah, but that was completely our fault. He should never have been on there. He can't swim. There's not a chance he should have been on those rapids. But
yeah, but we saw rapids. We remembered from last time.
But that was completely on us, and he was fine. So we're not gonna get too bogged down in that. Read the signs, people.
Yes, read
for goodness' sake, read the signs. We've already run a lot longer than I expected to run on this video, so we are going to wrap it up there. If there are any questions you'd like to ask about Center Parcs or about our trip or about our experiences there, just let us know down in the comments, and I'll make sure I'm active in the comments answering questions and stuff. And if we get loads and loads, we might do a follow-up video for this in a week or two's time. But I think the big takeaway message is it's worth going and trying. You know, it was a couple of nights, give it a try, because I think I went into it not really knowing what to expect, and it was a lot more fun and a lot more awesome than I thought it'd be. Even when we were picking activities like 2-3 months ago, I remember us having the conversation on the lines of, what, you want me to go and do crazy golf and a bow and arrow? That just sounds rubbish.
We had that conversation.
I wanted to do like the really extreme stuff.
You're broken now with Tame.
But what we did was awesome. So go and try it. It's super cool. But we'll wrap this vlog up there. If you have enjoyed it, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for us. Subscribe to the channel for more daily vlogs. And thank you very much for watching.